You're watching the SEC on ESPN tonight in Gainesville, Florida. The Florida Gators, 12-11 on the year, hosting the Vanderbilt Commodores, looking for their first win in the Southeastern Conference. We are in Gainesville, and the Rowdy Reptiles are ready. Good Wednesday night. Alongside Damian Fishback, I'm Richard Cross. Glad to have you along. Two teams, Damian, that desperately want to win.
Oh, yeah, they're starving, ravenous, so hungry for a victory tonight. When you look at Vanderbilt, it's well known that they haven't won in the SEC. They talk about the loss of Darius Garland. Well, they're over that. They are trying to find a win. A lot of close calls, but no moral victories. And for Florida, when you talk about a must-win quite a bit, I don't know if there could be more of a must-win for any team in the country than this tonight, simply because of the numbers for Florida. They have a nice strength of schedule, but if they lose at home to Vanderbilt, it becomes a tough road to try to get into the NCAA tournament.
Florida at 4-6 in the SEC. There are opportunities for them because their numbers are good, their metrics are good, but they've got to win some games down the stretch.
Well, they really do, and we talk about teams that have been close. This Florida team right here in this arena almost knocked off one of the better teams in the Big Ten in Michigan State. The challenge is going to be if they can take care of the basketball and try to control the offensive glass.
Wednesday night in Gator Country. We'll give you a little feel of what it's like inside Exactech Arena as we get you set for the Gators and the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Bryce Drew with a record of 4-1 against the Florida Gators. And the head coach of the Gators, 41-year-old Mike White, in his fourth year, a record of 81.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet. Let's meet the starters for your Florida Gators. At forward, a 6'5" freshman from Norfolk, Virginia, number 11, Keontae Johnson. The center, a 6'9" senior from the Live Oak, number 13, Lawrence Hayes. And guard, a 6'5" freshman from Aurora, Ontario, Canada, number 2, Andrew Miller. And guard, a 6'3" freshman from Baltimore, Maryland, number 10, Noah Lott. And in guard, a 6'2" senior from Little Rock, Arkansas, number 5, Keon.
Three freshmen in the starting lineup for the Florida Gators. Florida at home tonight trying to snap a 3-game losing skid in the SEC. We'll have tip-off when we come back to Gainesville. Time for a little basketball from Exactech Arena on the campus of the University of Florida. Kayvon Allen and the Gators ready to go. Florida in their home white. Vanderbilt in black. Cleavon Brown jumps for Vanderbilt. Kavarius Hayes for Florida. Opening tip to the Commodores, who are trying to snap an 11-game losing skid, 10 in a row inside the SEC.
Let's remember, for the Commodores, very young backcourt, right? You see Aaron Neesmith with the basketball up top, Simi Solis too. That was freshman to freshman. Let's see if they can get something inside to establish their presence.
And they do with Cleavon Brown early. He's averaging only 3 points a game, but the junior from San Antonio gets Vandy on the board.
I like Cleavon Brown. Cleavon Brown actually has good size and mobility. He's got some nice athleticism. Like the Commodores, he is gaining confidence even in spite of their losses.
Freshman point guard Andrew Nembhard dumps it off. There's a block down low by Brown. A good start for him on both ends of the floor. Saban Lee leading Vanderbilt in scoring. Just shy of 14 points per game. Sophomore from Phoenix, Arizona. And he's coming off a career-high 24 against Alabama.
Richard, a lot of people are recognizing Tennessee this year and last year. But they have to remember, you see a nice rebound by Hayes. They have to remember that Tennessee was similar to these teams in their struggles just a few years ago. And so there's not going to be a lot of schools that are dominant year in and year out. And for these two schools this season, I think in their own way, they're both rebuilding years.
Matt Ryan picks up the foul. Hayes at the free throw line. Three-point play for him, and the Gators are in front.
Richard, this is what I'm looking forward to. I love this pressure that Coach Mike White has added to his game this year. Similar to Villanova, he said that's where he got it from. I like coaches that use all 94 feet to be aggressive on the defensive end.
You constantly do that. Teams are deep into the shot clock before they even get it across the half-court stripe.
You just called it.
And Florida forces the turnover. Kayvon Allen. Now Nembhard. Allen pulls the trigger. Too strong. Smith on the drive. He is bumped by Nembhard, his first foul. Mike White in his fourth season as the head coach here in Gainesville. 81 wins, 47 losses. Took the Gators to the Elite Eight in 2017. What a game that was at the Garden with South Carolina.
What a game, and you think about the road he traveled to get there, some of the coaches that he was able to knock off. When you mention a coach like Tony Bennett, who's so well respected, admire him so much. Coach Mike White reminds me of him, the way he approaches his coaching style in the game itself.
Saban Lee short with the three. Florida off and running. Johnson lost the handle. And Vanderbilt had it saved in. Good hustle play there by Saban Lee. Hayes comes down with the rebound after the Chateau miss.
You know, both of these teams are moving a little fast right now. You know, as you see Allen take a pretty quick shot. I like early offense if it's there.
That one was halfway down for Kayvon Allen, kicked out. Lee looking to get it inside. Nice entry pass to Brown, but he left it short.
Wow. Those are just plays you have to finish.
Noah Locke off the mark with the three. Noah Locke, one of those three freshmen in the starting lineup for the Gators, along with Nembhard and Keontae Johnson. Nembhard on the drive, able to get it off the window.
Well, Nembhard, obviously a highly talented recruit coming in this year, trying to fill the large shoes of Chris Chiozza. Much different basketball game, but he has an unselfish style, not as quick or as fast, but he uses his height and basketball IQ. A game of 11 assists and 0 turnovers this year. Nice pass.
Smith with the strong finish, or excuse me, Chateau with the strong finish down low. That's what Nembhard does well, find his teammates, averaging 5.5 assists per game. Hayes can't get it to fall.
You know, Richard, Hayes is one of those big guys who does so much for his team. You think about Dante Hall at Alabama, Daniel Gafford at Arkansas, bigs that really carry the torch for their team.
Chateau called for the travel. Maybe the biggest energy guy on this team for Florida.
Oh, without question. I mean, obviously, you see Tavares Hayes' energy on the defensive end, but a lot of times he doesn't get the credit. He should really receive a hockey assist because of how he runs the floor, which allows those guards like Noah Locke and Kayvon Allen and even Jalen Hudson, who's now entered the basketball game, to get shots because of him creating offense by him running the floor and drawing the defense.
Jalen Hudson, number 3, led the Gators in scoring a year ago, averaging just 7 a game this season. Pass inside to Hayes. He's doubled down low. Andre Ballard has come in and he turns it over. Lee on the drive, a whistle and a foul. will go against the Gators. 1-point lead for Florida early.
Number 1 Tennessee, number 5 Kentucky. Saturday 8 on ESPN.
Vanderbilt 9-14 on the year, 0-10 in the SEC, but there have been some close losses along the way. Against a good South Carolina team, a 3-point loss. Took number 1 Tennessee to overtime, ultimately lost that game by 5. And then just earlier this month, a 3-point loss after missing a 3 in the final seconds against the Razorbacks. A tough luck team in a lot of ways. This is kind of what's on the line tonight for Vanderbilt, including winning their 7th in the last 8 meetings against Florida.
Well, I love the fact that that was just showed, because it shows you that it's a paper-thin difference between wins and losses, especially when it gets into conference play. Now, obviously, Coach Bryce Drew has been a winner, not only as an athlete himself, but his entire career when he was at Valpo. Coming and rebuilding, trying to follow the footsteps, of Coach Kevin Stallings is not easy, a guy who was a long-tenured coach, but he had an NCAA tournament in his first year there, and he's dealt with some injuries. Matthew Fisher-Davis last year and Darius Garland this year, but that doesn't excuse the losses for him. He is an ultimate competitor, and he, as much as anyone, wants to get a win tonight.
Shot clock at 10. Moyer off the bench. Matthew Moyer, the redshirt sophomore from Ohio, Syracuse transfer. Quick trigger there for Mike Okaro. Okaro with the miss. Yanni Wetzel has come into the game. He's tripped, and if that foul is on Hayes, and it is, that is his second, and so Marius Hayes likely will have to go to the bench with 14.5 minutes to play in this first half.
So that's critical for Mike White and the Florida Gators. They have struggled with keeping the front line. Even when John Egbunu was here and they thought he was going to be able to come back, dealt with that injury. You have Stokes on the sideline that had to come back from an ACL injury. Keith Stone out with an ACL injury this year. So the front line is depleted. We'll see how he responds tonight.
Neesmith gets his own miss, pops it back in, and Vanderbilt is back in front.
One of the graphics that you just saw was 7 out of the last 8 meetings the Commodores have won, so they've had some success both here and home against the Florida Gators.
Extra pass into the corner, 3 on the way, and good for Noah Locke, and that is what he does. Third in the SEC, shooting 43% from behind the arc this year.
Yeah, I love his stroke. Set a freshman record, 6 games of 5+ 3-pointers per game. When you think about some of the great three-point shooters that have come through here, Teddy DuPay being one, Keith Boynton, very impressive for him as a freshman.
That shot way off the mark for Aaron Neesmith. Karu backs it out.
Seems like things have settled down a little bit more now. I like the push, but when the defense has been set, they've taken time.
Well, heat check there by Noah Locke, and he missed that one by a bunch.
I don't know if I'm going to give him heat check. I think he just missed that one. but I like the movement on this shot. It goes inside out. The ball is quick. And then easy like Sunday morning, the nice trifecta looked much better on that stroke.
Not deep enough for the heat check?
He just missed it. I can't let him get away with it.
Turnover by Vanderbilt. That is their 4th in the first 7 minutes.
So this is what impresses me so much about Kentucky and Coach Cal, what Coach Wade is doing at LSU, Coach K, and their ability to come back down +20 on the road at Louisville. This is the time of year where freshmen typically run into that wall. That was like a freshman wall kind of turnover. Things get mundane, you get a little fatigue. You think about the schools, the practices, and shoot around. It could just be a turnover, but you see that amongst a lot of freshmen this time of the year.
Jalen Hudson on the drive draws the foul. Yanni Wetzel picks up his first. Saturday, 3 of the top 5 teams in the country will be on ESPN. Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, and number 2 Duke host NC State, 6 Eastern. Then it's number 1 Tennessee, riding a school record 19-game win streak with their win earlier tonight, taking on number 5 Kentucky in a Sonic blockbuster. Both games streaming live on the ESPN app.
The SEC will be on full blast this weekend. Game day, Tennessee versus Kentucky, the Volunteers versus the Cat. I can't wait to see those front lines, but I think the matchup is going to be Hagans versus Bone. That's a critical point to their basketball game.
Who's got the advantage in that matchup?
I go with Bone.
Go with the veteran. This ball tipped away, another steal. Ballard lost the handle and has to slow down. Kayvon Allen bumped out on the perimeter by Wetzel. He picks up his second foul.
Richard, Yanni Wetzel is another key piece, and he exits the basketball game. You know, we talked about the freshman for Vanderbilt, but for Yanni Wetzel and Matt Ryan, this is the first time they're coming into this gym with Bryce Drew as a Commodore. So a lot of new pieces for this Vanderbilt team, trying to get their chemistry together without the services of Darius Garland, and a lot of those critical pieces that are missing are the reasons why they struggle.
Matt Ryan, the Notre Dame transfer, sat out last year. Ballard, 3 is good. DeAndre Ballard shoots only 33% from behind the arc. Yanni Wetzel also, by the way, the transfer from St. Mary's in Texas. He was a big-time scorer for them. 7-0 run for Florida. They lead it by a half dozen. Whistle a foul under the basket. That is on Mike Okaru.
Richard, DeAndre Ballard, first 6 games of the season, surpassed 60 points. Versus last year, he didn't get that over the final 24 games. Buckets by Ballard.
The top team in the land invades Big Blue Nation.
Hold up, let me get up in it
Tennessee
now.
aims to deliver a statement, but number 5 Kentucky looks to defend rough. It's a top 5 showdown. Tennessee, Kentucky, Saturday 8 on ESPN.
Saturday night in Lexington. Do you think Rupp Arena will be on fire? Kentucky hosting number 1 Tennessee. First time 2 top 5 teams in the SEC have met on the hardwood since 2003. That's been a while.
It has been a long time, but it's due to the resurgence of the SEC. When you talk about Leibowitz and you talk about Commissioner Sankey, the job that has been done, what started a very long time ago, it seems like now, from the run of South Carolina, when it was South Carolina, Kentucky, and Florida. I think it gave people the national perspective of the SEC was back, and then the follow-through of 8 teams, and now this year, the SEC doing well again. I think it's, from a national perspective, one of the best opportunities for fans to see just how good basketball has really become in the SEC.
Great story in The Athletic today about Mike Tranghese and the role that he played in helping the SEC from a scheduling standpoint, kind of building the overall strength of the league. Another foul on Florida. This one is on Dante Bassett, his first. Florida defense has been really good today. It's held Vanderbilt to a one-and-done, one shot or a turnover in 10 of their 13 offensive possessions so far tonight.
Yeah, defensively, Florida has been outstanding. Top 10 in the KenPom defensive efficiency all year long. And it exemplifies how Coach Mike was as a player. He was tough, he was gritty. He guarded you from start to finish. And I think the background of both of these players really is displayed in the way they coach as well.
Matt Ryan back into the game for Vanderbilt. Also Maxwell Evans in for the first time. Here's Evans on the drive into the lane, scoops and draws the foul.
You know, for Vanderbilt, it almost seems like the pass is just a second off. And that makes a difference offensively. If you get it a split second before the defender is there, that makes a difference as a shooter. That makes a difference as a finisher. And that's them still learning to play without Garden, without Darius Garland. Saban Lee, Maxwell Evans. Trust me, they didn't plan on playing the minutes that they're playing at the point guard position right now. And they're having to do that against a stifling defense for the Florida Gators.
Maxwell Evans missed the first, second one on the way. He is part of an athletic family. He is a triplet with a couple of sisters, Maya and Megan, who both play volleyball at Alabama A&M. He's got an older brother. Plays football at Kansas. So Les Miles is now his football coach. Makes one of two at the line, Maxwell Evans. Hudson on the drive, high off the glass.
He's coming. There's certain guys that are coming throughout this league. Tevin Mack at Alabama's coming. I see that in his stride and his footsteps. Daniel Purefoy at Auburn's coming a little bit. Jalen Hudson is coming for the Florida Gators right now, and I see it in every single game.
Season high 15 points for Jalen Hudson last time out for the Gators against #1 Tennessee. Here he is again, little Euro step. Can't get the bounce off the glass, but an offensive rebound and put back for Keontae Johnson.
I like the timeout. Coach Bryce Drew not wanting to allow things to get out of hand and give credit to the Florida Gators. Tremendous offense off of their defense. Jalen Hudson, he's showing you I'm back, and even if I can't finish, my teammates got me. Good finish by Johnson.
Back with you in Gainesville. Mike White with the word with his senior guard, Jalen Hudson. Hudson, the transfer from Virginia Tech a couple of years ago, scored over 1,000 points in his career between the two schools.
I mean, last year when Florida was on their run, I thought he was the guy, right? Chioza knew just where to find him, and look at Vanderbilt with 0 field goals over the last 425. And when you have a guy like Jalen Hudson that scores while Vanderbilt's having that drought, that's what has created the separation for Florida right now.
Brown inside, too strong, and Johnson with the rebound. I mean, one thing you know about this Florida team is they are going to defend you. Nimhard called for an offensive foul. Gators are tops in the SEC and 20th in the country in scoring defense. And they're holding their opponents to 32% from behind the arc.
Well, I think they displayed that, Richard, no more in their games against West Virginia, Butler, and Arkansas, where they hold those three opponents to more than 30 points below their season average. I mean, and those
That's hard to do.
Right, against those teams, right? West Virginia not playing as well as the typical West Virginia team. Coach Huggins will get it together, well over 800 victories, but still against them, Arkansas and Butler, that's impressive.
Foul on Semisola Shittu. He's called for the offensive foul, the charge. 8th turnover by Vanderbilt. First foul on Shittu.
Richard, when I look at these teams, the one thing that you notice with, and that's what's really impressive about what Coach K has done at Duke and what Coach Cal has done at Kentucky in such a short time, they take 5 fingers and make it a fist. That's what Tennessee is. That's why they're so valuable. That's what Gonzaga is. That's what Coach Tony Bennett does with Virginia. These two teams right here still collectively trying to come together as one unit right now.
Johnson with the floater.
Like him. He's very athletic. He has a very good touch. And defensively, he actually gets them a lot of defensive rebounds that you would surprise. Watch him. Only about 6'5", but plays much bigger than that around the rim.
Double-digit lead now for Florida. They're on a 13-1 run. Shittu finds Saban Lee. Matt Ryan, shot clock winding down, got a big bucket for Vandy.
And a much-needed bucket by the transfer. You know, Matt Ryan been to the NCAA tournament, advanced to the second round in 2017 and in 2016 in the Elite Eight, so he's got experience.
Good job with the ball fake there by Isaiah Stokes, but he took a shot and went down hard.
Well, that's dangerous. The reason it's dangerous, Stokes didn't go up, or he possibly could have hurt Brown, but that weight came on the back of his neck a little bit, and that's what he's grabbing right there. You can see it turned his neck a little bit, and it's nice to see him up and doing okay.
Isaiah Stokes, a big boy down low, 6'8", 270, freshman from Memphis. Came to Florida from IMG Academy.
In his previous game, he got a few boos when he played at Tennessee. Obviously, Jarnell Stokes, an outstanding player, played for Conzo Martin at Tennessee. And I think the Tennessee fans were a little upset that he was right there in Memphis and chose to come to Gainesville versus go play with the Volunteers.
Yeah, Big Brother was all big orange.
I was thinking, I mean, you got Grant Williams. That's a pretty good trade-off.
And Stokes sat out last year recovering from an ACL injury his senior year in high school. Lee in trouble. Get it inside to Chateau. Tough shot. Little English on it and got it to fall.
A lot of English, math, science, too. That's beautiful. That time the pass was on time, Richard, right? That's what I mean when I say a step late or a step short. Nice job of Vanderbilt continue to fight, but the Gators up 8.
Back in Gainesville, Vanderbilt trailing on the road against the Florida Gators, down 8, 20-12. Richard Cross, Damian Fishback with you from Exact Tech Arena. Damian, you said something earlier about Vanderbilt needing to be a little bit more crisp, a little more on time with their passes.
Yeah, you hear this all the time, is on time, on target. So look at the trap and the pressure. It's just a second too late. And look, the defense right there on the catch. They have too much time to recover their hands and are able to deflect the shot. But here, that split second, look at the defense. They're just not there in time, which allows the old school Iceman finger roll over the top of the defense. A difference, just a split second, but it's what you need against the stifling defense of the Florida Gators.
8 Vanderbilt turnovers have led to 10 Florida points. Good look at 3, too strong that time for Noah Locke. Offensive rebound though, Gators will get another chance. This time it's Kayvon Allen from deep. No. Another offensive rebound. Keontae Johnson got the long board. DeAndre Ballard has a 3 tonight. Now almost had 2. That one spun out.
Well, 2 different stories here. If you're Coach Mike White, you have to love the tenacity that your team is displaying right now, finding ways to get wins, right? They have 10 points off of turnovers, so that's extra possessions, turning the Vanderbilt Commodores over. Now they're getting on the offensive glass. If you get that many more possessions, you're going to win the basketball game. On the other side, for Coach Bryce Drew, you saw massive substitution, and that's why. Energy and effort is something that you control night in and night out, and he didn't feel like the group that was just in was giving him that energy or effort.
Yanni Wetzel, Joe Toy, Maxwell Evans, Matthew Moyer, all into the ball game. Also, Neesmith has come back in, but Stokes.
Wow. How many offensive rebounds? Did we have 4 on that play?
4 on that possession, 5 total shots. A 5-shot possession that finishes with an Isaiah Stokes bucket.
Looks like a team that wants to play in March Madness. 8 offensive rebounds to 1.
And an offensive foul there on Matthew Moyer.
I like it by Coach Bryce Drew. Listen, when it's not going right, the definition of insanity, continuing to do the same things while expecting change to come about. He's making changes.
Noah Locke off the mark. Evans into the lane, bakes it home.
And there's the difference. When you secure the rebound, it allows open lanes, and the defense of Florida doesn't have a chance to get set up. the better the defense, the more you have to defend to get out in transition. You see, once you get a stop here, we know how good Florida is defensively, but look at them. They're trying to run back and get set up defensively. Now you've got offensive lanes to get to the rim. That's the difference in winning and losing, especially on the road, Richard.
One of the things that Bryce Drew told us earlier today was, one, we've got to protect the basketball. That has not gone well early. 9 turnovers. He also said that he felt like they were going to have to get transition buckets. Didn't necessarily say we're going to run all the time,
right,
but off of missed shots, they wanted to try and run. Matt Ryan with another 3. That's his second from deep.
How about that?
But to your point, you got to rebound it if you're going to run off of missed shots.
You have to finish the possession with the defensive rebound.
Back to a 5-point game after the 3 from Matt Ryan. Shoots 36% from behind the arc.
Now watch this trip, Richard. Now they may score, but look how much more difficult it is when the defense of Florida set up.
Tough shot there for Chateau. Kayvon Allen comes down with the board. Allen had a career-high 7 rebounds against Tennessee. Blocked from the corner, an air ball. Johnson got it. Shot clock did not reach set. Jalen Hudson with a good wide open look. Florida 2 of 13 from behind the arc.
Well, when you have a Florida Gator team that averages a little over around 9 3-pointers per game, it makes you uncomfortable if you're Vanderbilt, because you're down 5, and Florida struggled like that from behind the 3-point line. 2 of 13. You have to think that those numbers are going to get a little bit closer to the normal statistics of the Florida Gators.
That was on Isaiah Stokes. We go to the other end for free throws on the 7th Florida team foul for Aaron Neesmith. Neesmith, a freshman from Charleston, South Carolina. South Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year, was a 2,000-point scorer in high school.
And you know who else is from South Carolina?
Who you got?
Guy Duke. Pretty good. So that says something about Aaron Neesmith, right? Over 2,000 points. So that shows you. And he was at practice one time and he said, this is tough for me. I'm not accustomed to losing like this. And so Coach Bryce Drew, their team, they're going through this adversity. That's why they're playing so hard, trying to get a W, as is Florida right now.
Shot clock at 5. Jalen Hudson trying to create it. A little step back against Matt Ryan, left it short. Matt Ryan looking for his 3rd from deep, and he's got it.
Uh-oh, a Matt Ryan sighting. You know, Matt Ryan was out last year, and all you heard about was his ability to knock down the shot. You could see that when he was at Notre Dame. He now seems to be finding himself, Richard.
Bassett gets a big bucket for Florida from 17 feet. That snaps a 10-0 Vanderbilt run.
Was a nice answer by Dante Bassett, who's going to have to play very valuable minutes, right? Hayes out with 2 fouls early in this basketball game, and now Florida shifts to the 1-3-1 zone.
Matt Ryan feeling it, this one off the mark. Offensive rebound for Brown. Joe Toy couldn't find it. Ryan got an offensive rebound. Neesmith on the drive, no. And can Vanderbilt keep it alive? Yes, and Neesmith draws the foul. 3 offensive rebounds on that possession for Vanderbilt. 24-22, 3:36 to play first half. NBA All-Star Weekend begins Friday in Charlotte, and the Celebrity Game is on ESPN again this year. Hall of Famer Dawn Staley coaches the home team, all with Charlotte roots, including our own Jay Williams, while future Hall of Famer Sue Bird coaches the away team. And the 4-point line is back. That is something that my man Damian Fishback would love. 7 Eastern, ESPN and the ESPN app. Spot up from the 4-point line.
How about Jay Will on that shot? I don't know how old that shot is, but he looks like he's still a Duke. Is that man ever going to age? What's the secret, huh?
Clean living, right?
That's it.
First free throw for Neesmith, good. Florida had a 13-1 run in this game. Vanderbilt answered with a 10-0 run.
Well, and both of the runs were cohesive with their ability to get stops on one end, right? So both of these teams struggle at times offensively, but when they get out in transition, they can score with much better ease.
Whistle and a foul inside. Dante Bassett doing work down low, the sophomore from Oakland, California. His season best came in the Bahamas, playing down in Battle for Atlantis against Oklahoma. Had 14 points in that game. Second foul on Matt Ryan.
Well, Bassett has had the opportunity to go against Tavares Hayes in practice and learn from him. Different type players. You mentioned knocking down a couple of threes in the Oklahoma game. Also had 7 points and 5 rebounds in what I thought was a crucial win for Florida on the road at Arkansas earlier in conference play.
Five to shoot. Inside, good find, and
Oh.
Brown with the strong finish.
He needs to do that for the rest of the season. I've seen Brown miss layup after layup. He's too athletic. He just needs to go to the rim and dunk the basketball every time.
6'8", jumps well. Offensive foul on Florida. Vanderbilt with the lead, 26-25.
Well, this is what you call a high percentage shot. Now, obviously, outside of Bassett in the basketball game, he has a size advantage. But for young players, oftentimes if you go to the rim strong, like Cleavon Brown did on that particular play, even if you don't get the dunk, you'll get a foul, and the officials will give you that call. Go to the basket strong as Brown did on that particular possession.
Vanderbilt with its first lead since 6-5. Catch and shoot there for Matt Ryan.
Not a good shot.
And then a foul on the Commodores. That goes against Joe Toy.
His first, 9th team foul.
1-1 coming here for Florida.
At the line,
Michael Carew has not been to the free throw line a lot this year, just 5 of 6 on the season.
substitution for Vanderbilt, number 13.
Michael Carew is a young man that has continued to try to find himself in the system here at Florida. He served as in a backup role last year with Chris Chiozza, and he's doing somewhat of a similar role this year behind Nimrod. But I like the fact that he's steady, and I don't think you lose a lot when he's in the basketball game.
Neesmith got the 3 to go, and a chance now for a 4-point play for Aaron Neesmith.
I think he may want to win. Bottom line, Aaron Neesmith, and you see on that particular play, Johnson hits him on the elbow, and I think that emotion, that scream, says I want to win more than anything that we've seen tonight.
Jamie, we talked earlier about close losses for Vanderbilt. One of the things that Bryce Drew told us earlier today is there's never been an effort issue for this team. They've continued to play hard. They've continued to work to try and get better, to try and scratch and claw out a win. And I think that's evident in that emotion you see.
That's right. And both of these teams have played tough schedules this season as well.
Stokes. Johnson on the drive, lays it in, spins it home.
He almost ran over Jalen Hudson trying to get out of the way underneath the basket. Jalen Hudson kind of moves at one little speed. He's kind of cruise control most of the time.
Moyer on the drive. Can't get the dunk to go, but Vanderbilt gets it back. Neesmith finds some space, and no, missed the three. Moyer with another rebound. Minute to play in the half. Neesmith knocked to the floor. He's got free throws coming. Keontae Johnson with the foul. Saturday, 3 of the top 5 teams in the country coming your way on ESPN. Saturday night, 6 Eastern, NC State at Cameron to take on Zion Williamson and number 2 Duke. Followed up by the Cats and the Vols, a sonic blockbuster from Rupp Arena, 8 o'clock Eastern Saturday night.
Coach Keats at NC State quietly doing a very good job outside of the 24-point game.
There was that one game.
Virginia Tech. I think he's been a nice surprise in the ACC this year, but they will be tested. I love the fact that Coach K has continued to change things up on the road. The fact that he tells Zion Williamson, I don't coach losers. You guys can find a way to win, or I'll help you find a way to win if you just play hard. That says a lot about Coach K at Duke.
Aaron Neesmith leads all scorers in the game. He's got 11 to lead Vanderbilt. Stokes, nice spin move.
Big fella. He's been working, right? Like chopping down the tree. They've been continuing to go inside until it finally broke through for Stokes to score at the rim.
6 points for Stokes. Gators back within 2. 5-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Saban Lee on the drive, gets all the way to the rim.
I absolutely love that. So many teams try to wait and get the last second shot, and I like this timeout by Coach White as well. But typically, when it comes towards the end of the half, teams know you have to score with 5 or 6 seconds left. And so for me, unless it's a situation where you just have to get the last shot, I like playing your offense normally, get a good look, go back and play defense. That's what the Commodores did.
Florida 4-6 in the SEC. They've lost their last 3 league games, on the road against Tennessee, on the road against Auburn, and a game against Kentucky here a couple of weeks ago that they led for much of the game in. Kind of in control of that game. Kentucky came storming back. Trying to pick up their 5th conference win for Vanderbilt. They're just trying to scratch in league play, trying to get that first win and kind of get the monkey off the back.
Sure. Well, and Richard, it's an unforgiving league, right? You hear Jimmy Dykes say that so much. And it's never been more apparent than this year, because when you talk about the coaches, the Final Four coaches, there's 5 of those, the Elite 8 coaches. We're looking at Mike White here. You don't get a night off with Coach Bryce Drew. He's as good as any coach in this league, and Kermit Davis doing an outstanding job. It's just so challenging to win night in and night out.
Clock winding down. Jalen Hudson takes it inside, off the glass, won't go. Rebound, put back for Isaiah Stokes. He's got 8 in the first half, and that bucket gets Florida within 2 going to the break.
Big boy basketball. Mr. Stokes doing an outstanding job of attacking the glass. The Commodores, though, able to fight back and get a lead at the half.
Halftime score in Gainesville. Vanderbilt 33, Florida 31. Stay with us for the halftime report after these short messages. Halftime in Gainesville, Florida leading at 33-31. We just had a horse dunking a basketball. That's what you get on a Wednesday night in Gainesville. Also get pretty tight basketball game alongside Damian Fishback, Richard Cross with you. Back and forth in this first half. Maybe not have been the best played game ever, as both teams had lots of missed shots. They were both, though, at their best in transition.
Yeah, it was a good play game defensively, if you will, but offensively, they struggled. And how they improve offensively is this way. You've got to turn good defense into offense. We say that a lot, but when you get out into the break before the defense has a chance to set up like Maxwell Evans, it makes it easier for you to score. And the same thing, right? The Commodores did it on one end. How about the Florida Gators on the other? 10 points off of turnovers. They got out into the break. You see discombobulated Commodore defense. Johnson doing an outstanding job of getting on the glass, which led to 10 second chance points for the Florida Gators. That's the difference in the basketball game. That's what both of these teams will have to do in the second half.
Vanderbilt started this half slow, the first half slow shooting the basketball. Heated up, finished the half 44%. And Florida 10 points off of those 9 Vanderbilt turnovers. Second half action coming up from Exact Tech Arena in Gainesville after this. You are watching the SEC on ESPN. Gainesville, Florida on a Wednesday night. Gators trailing by a couple over to Vanderbilt as we get set for the start of the second half. Florida trying to snap a 3-game losing skid in the SEC. For Vanderbilt, it's 10 in a row that they've lost in league play. 0-10 in the Southeastern Conference. Aaron Neesmith and Matt Ryan leading the way for the Commodores, and a good strong close to the half for Florida, below their season shooting percentage. 17 bench points. And Damian, I think you point to the fact that Kavarius Hayes played only 5 minutes in the first half.
That's right.
Andrew Nimhard played only 6 minutes in the first half. Both of those guys picking up early fouls.
Yeah, give credit for Stokes coming off of the bench with 8 points. Hudson, you know, contributing 3 points even though he's 1 for 5. And something we want to keep our eye on is Kayvon Allen. Coach White talked about him continuing to be aggressive.
Florida had an 11-point lead when Andrew Nimhard went to the bench with his second foul. About 10 minutes to go in the half. Vanderbilt outscored Florida 26-15 from that point on. Deontay Johnson had it rim out, and then a foul. That's going to go on Cleavon Brown.
And somebody just got saved from a highlight. We told you that Johnson was a superb athlete. He showed you on that particular play, 42-inch vertical leap is what he has. And that's what we were talking about at the half. If they can continue to get turnovers and stops, they're allowed to use that athleticism to get out on the break against the Commodores.
Kayvon Allen's the leading scorer for Florida, 12.8 a game. He was held scoreless in the first half. Deontay Johnson got the 3 from the corner.
Well, he is an exceptional driver, but if you give him that much space, he has the capability to knock down the 3-point shot as well. Nice look by Johnson.
Does that make up for the missed dunk?
Of course. It's an extra point.
There you go.
Maybe he planned that.
I somehow doubt it, but we'll go benefit of the doubt.
I appreciate you participating.
Shot clock winding down. There's an air ball. Brown thought he was fouled. Step back for Kayvon Allen, too strong. Well, touched by Vanderbilt on the end line, so Florida will keep it.
Well, Vanderbilt defending right now. They don't have anyone help out. Simisola Shatu got sucked in on the ball screen, which allowed Johnson to get open on that 3-point shot. When you defend the ball screen, it takes 5 guys to defend that screen.
Nimhard tries a 3 and spins it home.
Priceless to have a guard who can make you pay when you go underneath the ball screen. It changes the way defenses have to play you.
Shatu, and it partially blocked, and now Florida in transition. Allen jump ball. It was tied up on the drive, and the possession arrow goes to Vanderbilt.
You know, we talked with Coach Mike White a little bit earlier today, and he loves and has been telling Kayvon Allen to be aggressive for a very long time now. And as I continue to watch Allen, I don't think it's a lack of him being aggressive. I think it's him just picking and choosing the right times when to attack the defense. And for players, as you continue to learn the basketball game, that's not easy for all players to do.
Saban Lee trying to dump it down low, got it back, and then Lee makes the pass. Shot clock down to 2, and he doesn't get a shot off that trip.
That's another example there. Saban Lee trying to figure out the same thing. That entire possession, he was trying to figure out whether I shoot the basketball or I make the pass. Right now, players just learning on the job.
Nembhard again.
They found something. So Andrew Nembhard, simple ball screen, but he's either using the mismatch on bigs or he's shooting it if they go into the screen.
Matt Ryan off the mark. Vanderbilt has gone scoreless for the first 3 minutes and 20 seconds of this half. A whistle away from the ball. And we'll go on Brown down low. Cleavon Brown picks up his third. Vanderbilt led this game 33-29. Back to the end of the first half, Gators on a 10-0 run. And Doug Shows has gone to the monitor. Had a foul underneath the basket. And maybe going to make sure that they've got the time right, shot clock, game clock, etc.
Well, right now, and we typically have at least one or two reviews a game now. It's just part of the game right now, but it's almost like an extra timeout for coaches. And for Coach Mike White, I'm sure he's probably telling his team, keep the energy like it's been. Keep doing what you're doing, Andrew Nembhard, because they have found something with the ball screen. On the other side, for this Commodore team, I like them being more aggressive, getting to the basket. They have done an outstanding job of getting to the charity stripe 573 times this season, which leads the SEC. Tonight, they've gotten to the free throw line 9 times and have made 7 of those 9, which is the reason why they had the lead at the half. I think they have to continue to do that.
Got the game clock right now, set it to 16:38. We keep 21 on the shot clock. Hard gets it in. Noah Locke short with the 3. Tipped around. Neesmith gets it ahead to Ryan. Ryan pull up 3 in transition. I'm going to say Florida ball. Matt Ryan thought that that had been touched last by the Gators.
Well, he hoped that it had been touched last by the Gators because of that shot. I mean, when he gets his feet set, I'd put him up against anyone in the SEC. But a lot of times he's off balance or he rushes his three-point shot. That's something he has to be more judicious about, not only in this game, but for the duration of the season, getting good looks for his team.
Shot clock at 5. Tough shot for Locke. Grazed the front iron. Ryan lets another one fly.
I don't mind that look. That was a good look. His feet were set. He just came up a little bit short.
3 first-half threes for Matt Ryan. He is 3 of 8 in the ball game. An offensive foul there on Florida. Gators lead it by 6. Six-point lead for Florida. It's been all Gators so far in the second half. A 10-0 run for Florida. Why is it happening?
Well, we talked about it at the outset. Defensively, they've turned it up. And Andrew Nembhard has done a nice job of controlling the tempo of this basketball game. That was a nice pass to Johnson. That time, Lee tried to go under the screen. He made him pay. And then here, he's just dancing. Now, he's feeling the young freshman back home. He's feeling good. He's excited, playing with confidence. Big difference in the first half and second half. Nembhard's playing a lot more in the second half.
Fish on 2 of Vandy's 7 possessions. They've not even gotten a shot off. Couple of turnovers, 0 of 5 shooting in this second half. Matt Ryan's had a couple of decent looks, has not been able to connect from deep. Saban Lee all the way inside off the glass.
How easy did that look, right? Out of the timeout. Saban Lee has as quick as a first step as you'll see in the SEC. Obviously, his father, tremendous athlete, played at Florida State in NFL. Amp Lee, he has his athleticism.
Jalen Hudson. They wave the basket off and call an offensive foul. And no points there for the Gators. Second foul on Hudson.
But you know what I noticed, Richard? His teammates giving him a, kind of a high five, saying we like that aggressiveness, keeping them pumped up. That's what you want from your teammates. Continue to be positive.
Neesmith with the left hand. Yanni Wetzel gets an offensive board. Good ball fake by Joe Toy.
Yeah, Toy that time settled a little bit. I think he's so athletic, he could get to the rim a lot better.
Noah Locke hit an early three in this game, but he is 1 of 9 total from behind the arc.
Oh!
That move by Mr. Neesmith.
All created by the pass from Saban Lee to Wetzel, and then Wetzel doing what we talked about, not being hesitant, moving the basketball quickly, on time, on target by the Commodores. They heard you, Richard Cross. Beautiful job of distributing the basketball.
Vanderbilt waking up. Aaron Neesmith, all the momentum toward the rim. Strong finish. Commodores cut it to 2. Saturday, 3 of the top 5 teams in the country will be on ESPN. NC State at Duke gets a doubleheader started Saturday night at 6 Eastern, part of Saturday Showcase, presented by 5 Hour Energy. And then we go to Rupp. Kentucky, number 5 in the country, number 1 Tennessee, 8 o'clock Eastern. Game day is going to start it off. What a day in the Bluegrass State.
Oh, Rupp Arena will be jam-packed, 24,000, and I expect Wildcat fans to be as relevant as they have ever been. They're going to be excited. You know, Kentucky has held the torch for the Southeastern Conference so long, and for Tennessee and Coach Rick Barnes, I mean, he has done a sensational job. The way he built the program over the last 3 or 4 years, but they still say that it goes through Lexington. Tennessee has a chance to make that statement on the road in a hostile environment.
Talk about Big Blue Nation. They were shell-shocked at the end of that game last night.
Well, I can't say that I love how it ended. I'm not surprised. LSU, I still think, has a chance to go to Minneapolis, potentially, right, if they continue to develop, especially with the athletes and the guys, the way they attack the glass. But you still have to look at Kentucky. Only 9 losses in Coach Cal's tenure, an impressive win by LSU. 9 losses at home.
Tennessee got the win tonight over South Carolina to move to 11-0. LSU only the 1 loss in conference play. That was to Arkansas on LSU's home floor. Kentucky now sitting at 9-2. Kind of a log jam there in the middle. How many teams can get in? How many teams will get in?
Sure. Well, I don't have a crystal ball. Earlier in the year, I said...
I thought you did.
For my fact, I said it will be a minimum of 7 teams.
Okay.
I think that's been decided. With that being said, I think there's a chance for 8, depending on how it continues to play out.
Hudson got the block. Count that one. Goaltend there. Bucket for Nembhard. 7 points for him, all in the second half.
The problem is when you say it's a chance for 8 teams is you just don't have a night out. So the numbers have to work out. I think in the Big 12 SEC Challenge, it was a critical win for Texas A&M to knock off Kansas State, who is competing with Kansas for the Big 12 title this year. I thought it was a critical win for Georgia to knock off Texas. And it helps and increases the numbers from a net standpoint for the overall league when teams either win or lose against those teams.
That's a good point. Neesmith tries to dump it off, driving into the lane. It's an empty possession for Vanderbilt. Gators lead by 4. Jalen Hudson, too strong. Joe Toy, halfway down that time. And then a careless foul on Florida. So what about the Gators in this tournament conversation? 12-11. A little surprising for some to see that Joe Lunardi still has them that close to the bubble in the first 4 out right now. They've played a brutal schedule.
Sure, well, because of the schedule, and candidly because of the fact that the power conferences has been so much more dominant this year outside of the Pac-12, who have struggled. I still like Washington, still like Arizona State. But that has opened up the door for a team like Florida. If you can get some quality wins in the SEC, as you see that finish by Neesmith, to still get to the NCAA tournament because of what was done in the non-conference schedule. But you have to start right here tonight. This is a home win or loss against a Commodore team whose numbers don't look really good. And so you have to take care of business, or if you do not, then that means you got to steal one you weren't supposed to later on in the season.
Kayvon Allen had a good look from the top of the key. Vanderbilt trailing by 2. Could tie or take the lead this trip. 12 minutes to play. A win tonight for Florida feels like an absolute must with regard to their NCAA tournament hopes. Wetzel working down low, had it blocked but out of bounds by Bassett. There's what do you think, and there's what do you know. We've got Fish's Facts coming up next. Two-point lead for the Gators over the Commodores. 11:50 to play tonight in Gainesville. Richard Cross, Damian Fish back with you. So Damian has been on a basketball odyssey. Started in November. He's going to carry it all the way to March. You've seen a lot of stuff. There's some things that you know. Let's call them Fish's Facts.
Yeah, no
right?
opinions this year. Only facts. Listen, it is a fact that this time of the year that you have to enjoy the journey. Fact. When you look at teams all across the country, we can start right here with these two teams. As you're rebuilding, you have to accept the ups and the downs. So for Vanderbilt, you can't get caught up on one loss. You have to play it one possession at a time. For Florida, you don't know if this win is going to get you in or out tomorrow, but you have to enjoy the process and the journey. It's the same way for your teams in the upper echelon, whether you're Virginia and Tennessee and Kentucky and Duke playing for 1 seeds. Take every challenge and enjoy that challenge along the way.
Two SEC teams currently in the top 10. Number 1 Tennessee, number 5 Kentucky. They will meet on Saturday night in Lexington at Rupp Arena. Great play drawn up out of the timeout for Vanderbilt. Execution just not quite there.
Well, and that's what teams are working on this time of the year, right? Getting better. You look at Gonzaga, the performance they put on over St. Mary's. They're in a different situation than all the other 1 seeds. I think if you're Duke, you're Virginia, even teams that can potentially get 1 seeds in Michigan and Michigan State, you're getting challenged every single night. The talent level, the competition level is just not the same night in and night out in the West Coast Conference. And so for Coach Mark Few, their journey is much different. He has to push them himself at an elite level to make sure they compete against themselves. I think it's very similar for other teams, but they don't have nights off like Gonzaga does. That will be the question when we get into postseason play.
Would you have made the deal that Sean Farnham made? If you had been at Gonzaga, would you have agreed to put that sweaty cowboy hat on if they got a lead by 40?
No, I don't make deals.
Wetzel inside with the bucket. Back to a 2-point game. Farnham told the story on the air the other night. He said that there was a kid in the stands. He goes, "Hey, if we get up 40, we wear my cowboy hat on air."
Yeah, I saw that. It was intriguing, but it was that's Farnham. That's all I can say.
That's fair enough. Tough night for Kayvon Allen continues. He is 0 of 6 from the field. Leading scorer for the Gators has been held scoreless tonight, and Neesmith here draws the foul.
Well, and you see, for Vanderbilt, seeking their first conference win, have been winless. And for Florida, in the first 4 out, you lose here tonight, and you drop out of that first 4 out. And so for both of these teams, we mentioned it at the outset, famished for a victory. Florida, 3-game losing streak. Vanderbilt desperate for a win as well. No surprise, we have a close game, both teams fighting to the end.
If Vanderbilt could pull this one off tonight, that late night getting back to Nashville and then rolling out of the sack for 8 o'clock class in the morning be a little bit easier.
Be a sweet victory for either team.
1 of 2 for Neesmith, a 1-point game as we close in on the 10-minute mark.
That's that charity stripe that we talked about. 23% of Vanderbilt's points actually come from the charity stripe. And so for Florida right now, you want to focus on defending without fouling.
clock winding down. Lock. Missed-time jump there by Dante Bassett. He was all set for a big bucket. Here's Ryan, steps into a three, and he's too strong. And then Wetzel, wrong place, wrong time, called for the foul. That is his third.
Don't have a ton of size out here on the court tonight, but we have a plethora of speed. A lot of guards out here quick to the basketball. We're seeing a ton of threes being shot up. And so when you have this many three-pointers, it leads to long rebounds. Just both teams struggling. Commodores 4 of 17 and the Gators 4 of 20. Both teams doing a sensational job of running the other team off of the three-point line.
There's a foul on Saban Lee. Thought he had gotten away with it. Had a fistful of jersey there. Tennessee a winner earlier tonight against South Carolina, 75-73 in Knoxville. Ole Miss and Auburn meeting for the second time this year. And Ole Miss has a 5-point lead with 12 seconds to play on the Plains.
Coach Kermit Davis has done a phenomenal job at changing the mindset, adding the correct pieces. What a quick turnaround for the Ole Miss Rebels and Coach Davis this year.
Johnson gets inside and he draws the foul. That's the 6th of the half on Vanderbilt. Simi Sola-Shatu picks up his second foul. And Keontae Johnson is at the line.
Well, Johnson is part of this unique freshman group. When we talk about enjoying the journey, it's not easy to say right now for Gator fans who are used to being dominant in the SEC, but this is part of that journey. You think about when Joakim Noah, Al Horford, Corey Brewer, those guys were freshmen before Billy Donovan built the program that he had here at the Florida Gators. They were freshmen just like this unique group of freshmen that the Gators have this year.
Lee into traffic, finds Toy. Saban Lee, long three, no. Kayvon Allen with another rebound. Got 4 of those. From the corner, tough shot for Mike Okaru.
Beautiful. A lot of the credit goes to finishing the possession, though, by Kayvon Allen. You talked about it being his 4th rebound. Well, Kayvon Allen, not the biggest guy on the floor. He's only 6'2", 193 pounds, but we talk about it all the time. You finish it, and then he leads the break. Look at an extra pass, on time, on target. Okaru taking advantage of his minutes. And I like the timeout called by Coach Bryce Drew because of the inability for these two teams to score, in particular in the first half. He's not wanting to get too big of a deficit for his team that has struggled in confidence.
Is that the toughest spot on the floor to hit a three?
I actually like that spot. One of the easiest spots is, of course, the top of the key.
Right.
But you have better percentages from that corner spot because it's actually the most difficult spot for the defense to go out and recover and contest.
9:09 to play. Florida leading 48-42. Aaron Neesmith for Vanderbilt leads all scorers with 16. For the Gators, it's the freshman Keontae Johnson with 11 points in the game. Kayvon Allen 0 for 6 tonight and has been held scoreless, the leading scorer for the Gators. And last year's leading scorer, Jalen Hudson, who averaged 15.5 a game a year ago, has only 3. Those two guys have combined to go 1 of 12 from the field tonight.
Well, and so the question right now is for Kayvon Allen and the Florida Gators, how do you close this game with an eternity of time left to go in the basketball game? Well, you close it the same way Duke closed the game against Louisville last night. You get hot defensively. You get multiple stops in a row, and you try to close the door on the Commodores. You take away their confidence, and make sure you keep your foot on the gas.
Your point's a good one. Florida's in a better starting point to close it than Duke was last
No
night
doubt about it.
with 9 minutes to play. Down 23, able to come back. Raucous crowd last night at the KFC Yum Center in Louisville. 22,000. Toy on the drive and gets the bucket.
You've been looking for that for Joe Toy all season long. He is the lone senior on this basketball team. We talked about that win at Arkansas earlier. In that win, he had 18 points. He also had 16 in a win where USC was healthy earlier in the year that the Commodores were able to get. He has to be potent offensively.
10 games this year for Joe Toy in double figures. He's got 2 tonight. Shot clock at 3. Johnson on the drive. No. Neesmith with the rebound.
They've got numbers if they want to take advantage here.
Saban Lee in the corner. Florida able to recover. And Saban Lee called for a travel.
Give credit to the Florida Gators. Had numbers, but a nice job of sprinting back defensively. You see why they're one of the top teams defensively in the nation.
Sports Center tonight following Warriors, Blazers, and after the buzzer with Stan and Neil. What's on tap? Warriors, Blazers post-game reaction. Can James Harden do it again? 30 consecutive 30-point games. A little baseball preview. Pitchers and catchers reporting all over the place in Florida and Arizona. What can you expect of the reigning champs, the Red Sox?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Baseball season here and basketball season blossoming right now. And whenever you get close to March Madness and you get the NBA, for basketball fans, you have to love it, and you have to love what Harden's doing. 30 consecutive 30-point plus games. How many 30-point games do you think Michael Jordan had in 1986-87? That's a question for you now.
Is it a question that you know the answer to?
It is. I want to see how close you get. 86-87, where you're going against the Knicks and Pistons that try to beat you down when you go to the rim.
I'll go 15.
About 67, sir. The GOAT. Subject closed.
Neesmith, deep 3 off the front iron.
Hey, why don't you scream after that one?
67. Wow. Did you see his response to the question earlier this week? Michael Jordan was sitting at the podium. He was asked, which is more impressive, 30 30-point wins in a row or the 10 triple-doubles consecutively that Russell Westbrook pulled off? He goes, oh, without a doubt, 6 championships. Neesmith short, and he's fouled.
We got a ball game. Neither team right now see the ability to pull away. And this is a lesson to be learned as you see Neesmith going to the rim. Tough break. And you see Nembhard and Coach Mike White disagreeing. He just saw it.
4th foul on Nembhard.
Let's remember, 4-point lead, now a 3-point lead for the Gators at this point.
Season high for Neesmith, 24. Did that in the overtime loss to #1 Tennessee. He's got 18 tonight with 6:49 to play.
Well, I said that there's no one on the Commodore team that wants to win more than Bryce Drew. Aaron Neesmith giving him a run for his money, his emotion, his desire, how hard he is playing tonight, single-handedly trying to put the Commodores on his back.
Tough shot inside. That ball hits on the end line. And it's Vanderbilt ball going the other way.
Well, there have been a lot of critical games this season. You think about Arkansas's win at LSU, looks even bigger now to keep them in the hunt. Obviously, they have to win more games. You think about the last-second shot and heroics of Kayvon Allen to knock off Ole Miss here at home. This is a critical moment for the Florida Gators right now, and obviously critical for the Commodores, too. They want to win as bad as anyone in the Southeastern Conference.
Saban Lee. Tough shot by Joe Toy, and he's called for the travel. Excuse me, for the charge, not the travel, the charge.
I was going to let you off the hook and say I agree with the call. Nice offensive foul. Just corrected yourself. I like that.
Would you have rather seen Joe Toy pull the trigger on the perimeter?
No, I think he made the right decision. I think it was just tremendous defense by the Florida Gators. We mentioned it earlier. They had zero problems defensively. It's offensively where they have struggled to put points on the board.
Florida clinging to a 2-point lead. Jalen Hudson guarded by Neesmith, and Neesmith called for the foul on the drive.
Well, right now, the officials seem to be calling it a little bit tighter. And so this is what you learn as a player, especially for young players now, no matter what level you're on. Always be cognizant about the way officials are calling the game. That's something you want to remember, especially when you get into postseason play in March Madness. Different crews call different ways. Your ability to adjust to the way they're calling it can help you get wins.
4 points now for Jalen Hudson. Has another free throw coming. Kayvon Allen in SEC play is averaging 16 per game. Noah Locke, the freshman, averaging a little better than 14.5 per game. Those two guys tonight have combined for 3. And another whistle, so we'll walk to the other end of the floor for free throws.
Well, it was the story for the Florida Gators at the beginning of the season, right? Florida Gators, you think about Kayvon Allen, Jalen Hudson coming back, that man, Kavarius Hayes. You think about the outstanding recruiting class and the freshmen that come in. But the missing pieces, Kayvon Allen up and down, played better, much better of late. But Jalen Hudson just hasn't quite come into play. And just as much as we talk about Darius Garland being the missing piece for the Commodores, you can't compare Nembhard to Chris Chiozza. Chris Chiozza was so ball dominant, such a high basketball IQ, a battle-tested, been through wars, that he put people in position to score himself last year so many times for the Gators.
Florida with some issues in the foul category right now. Nembhard and Hayes both on the bench with 4 fouls, 5.5 minutes to play. Saban Lee spun into traffic, and then a foul on Simisola Shatu.
Frustration foul that time by Simisola, but not a bad foul simply because points have been so hard to come by of late. You want to make them earn it at the free throw line instead of allowing an easy basket. Richard, one thing that we have seen in this basketball game is both of these teams trying to get it quickly. And if you're in offensive transition and have a chance to score before the defense sets up, that's fine. But when you're going against quality defenses, you are going to have to work and get the basketball inside out, use dribble penetration, pick and pop, and work the shot clock a little bit to get scores.
Next foul charge to Vanderbilt will give Florida 2 free throws. They're sitting on 9 team fouls. Florida at 7, so both teams in the bonus. Brown, Shatu, and Wetzel all with 3 fouls for Vanderbilt. Hayes and Nembhard both with 4, and currently both of those guys on the bench for Florida. Tipped away, touched last by Shatu.
That's youth. It's youth. For Aaron Neesmith, you had your dribble was alive. Fake a pass, penetrate, improve your angle, and get the basketball inside the Shatu.
2 possessions in a row in a tight game late where Vanderbilt does not get a shot off. 3 turnovers in the last 4 possessions for the Commodores. And Jalen Hudson, it looks like all of a sudden has realized he can beat his man off the dribble, and he's going to the foul line again.
Richard, as a shooting guard, which is what he is, we love our point guards. I played with the tremendous point guard in Doc Robinson. You know, Reggie Sharp backed up him, and they were different point guards, but both of those point guards knew each of us as players. And so for Nembhard, he's playing in a tough league with a plethora of quality point guards, and Lamar Peters and Kyra Lewis and Jordan Bone, we've mentioned them all. But the ability to find him when he needs to get the basketball is something that you can't put a price tag on.
8 points now for Jalen Hudson. 6 of those have come from the free throw line. Rowdy Reptiles trying to get behind the Gators defensively. Matt Ryan too strong with the three.
Yeah, Reptiles are without question the 6-man defensively tonight.
Ryan was 3 of 4 from behind the arc early in this ball game. He has missed his last 7 3-point attempts.
Yeah, he went from the hot tub to the cold pool, but maybe he'll find one of late, as does Jalen Hudson.
Double digits for Jalen Hudson. He scored the last 7 for Florida. There's a big 3 from the corner from Aaron Neesmith.
A much-needed basket by the freshman. So cool and calm under pressure. That's what we mean when we talk about enjoying the journey. You're going to have some ups and downs, but keep fighting.
Kayvon Allen on the drive. 21 points now for Neesmith, keeping Vanderbilt in it. 5-point game with 3:17 to play. Five-point lead for Florida over Vanderbilt with 3:17 to play. This is not a position that's unfamiliar for the Commodores. They've been close a bunch this season. The question is this the night where they can get over the hump?
Well, listen, they were picked to finish 8, and that was when they thought they had Darius Garland. Non-conference 9-4. A lot of those games actually with Garland, they're about to go in the top 25. 7 of the 10 conference losses, though, have been by 10 points or fewer. Saban Lee's picture right there describes it. They've just been trying to figure it out. I compare it to a team that has a quarterback and they're planning on passing the basketball all year long, and then that passing quarterback goes out, and now they have a quarterback that runs. They have to change everything. They're running a wishbone offense. They're throwing shorter passes, and you see the struggles that they've had, but they have had some success against Florida. 7th win versus Florida in last 8 meetings would be what this win would mean tonight if they were able to secure it here on the road.
One of the things that Bryce Drew said about Darius Garland was not only was he a great player, there's a reason that he is projected to be a top 10 draft pick. He made everybody around him better. And to me, that might be a better definition of a great player when you can kind of elevate everybody else.
That's right. That's what a point guard is supposed to do. And even though we have a lot of scoring point guards on the NBA level, when you look at Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, James Harden doing a sensational job. And the bottom line is you want to make players better. One of the best point guards ever, Magic Johnson, Steve Nash, they made everyone better.
Johnson pulls down the rebound. Florida leading by 7. Kayvon Allen with those 2 free throws just a moment ago. His first 2 points of the game.
Well, if Florida can score here, a tough hill to climb for the Commodores.
Deontay Johnson, little return to sender right there, and then it was off Johnson's leg.
I like that. I love the fact that they allowed that verticality. And you see Johnson going up, but it's the correct call. Goes off of his knee. Correct call by the officials.
Cleavon Brown. Now Brown's got it in the lane. Ryan gives it to Brown, and he draws the foul.
Well, we talked about the Commodores and their close calls. Very familiar for Florida as well. When we talk about how are they still in the first 4 out, well, it's because of who they played. Look at this notable non-conference resume. Florida State, who's playing as good as anyone in the ACC after having a couple of tough losses early in conference play against Duke and Virginia. Played Duke as well as anybody, almost knocked them off. Oklahoma, Lon Kruger out of the Big 12, they were able to knock off Stanford. Butler lost early, were able to come back and dominate them here at home, a win against West Virginia. And so they played anybody, anywhere, and that's one of the reasons why they're still in Joe Lunardi's first 4 out. But this loss would hurt them.
This would hurt them. You pick one of those losses out of the non-conference schedule, whether it's Michigan State, and you'd be even looking at that resume differently than you do. There's a steal by Johnson. He baited Matt Ryan into that pass. And then a foul on Ryan underneath.
And you see that, Matt Ryan. And so when you have come up short, you know, these hadn't been a lot of blowout losses that we just discussed by the Commodores.
Yeah.
So being that close, being able to win at Arkansas and getting an offensive foul called on Saban Lee, right? The loss against Tennessee at home when you have a hook and hold foul called on Cleveland Brown against Grant Williams, the loss against South Carolina, that makes it even more challenging for the Commodores. And for the Florida Gators, all they're concerned about is getting out of here with the W.
Johnson's free throw. The shooter's touch there. 2:05 to play. Florida leads it by 7.
Wow, look at the second half field goal, 27%.
Saban Lee, no on the 3, and Florida may be starting to feel it. Inside 2 minutes. Gators have lost 3 in a row in the SEC. Jalen Hudson, 10 points tonight. One of 2 Gators in double figures. Kayvon Allen, turnaround on the baseline. Good touch. First made field goal of the game for Kayvon Allen comes with 90 seconds to play, and yet Florida's got a chance to win.
Well, I compare it to, you know, when you're on the holidays and you're starving and all the food's being made all day and you think you can't wait any longer, but they bring it out just right on time. That's what it's like for the Florida Gators right there. All day long, the Florida Gators waiting for Kayvon Allen to serve them that meal, and that's what they get.
Is it too late, by the way, for us to grab dinner after the game here in Gainesville?
Hey, listen, I'll give Rowdy Reptiles a lot of credit. This is a late basketball game, right in the middle of the week, but they've been here, they've been Rowdy Reptiles, right, and they have been all smiles. And let me tell you, as a player, for a late game like this, it makes a difference. Kudos to the Florida Gator fans tonight.
One of the great student sections in college basketball, the Rowdy Reptiles, here at Exact Tech Arena, the Stephen C. O'Connell Center. Maybe the difference in the game tonight, Damian, 26 points for Florida off of 19 Vanderbilt turnovers. They are plus 18 in that category.
Sensational job defensively. And for Coach Bryce Drew, anytime you see those type of numbers, you can't help but think, where's Darius?
Second foul on Noah Locke.
And something else we didn't mention, when you have a guy like Darius Garland come to your program, a guy like Peyton Willis doesn't hang around to stay because he realizes he's probably not going to get a lot of those minutes at the point guard position as well. And it makes it more challenging to recruit a lot of other point guards.
Both of these coaches understand, not that any coach doesn't understand the importance of recruiting. When you look at these two teams, when you're talking about Florida, you're going to lose Kayvon Allen, you're going to lose Jalen Hudson, and you've got 3 freshman starters. This upcoming recruiting class for Florida is huge.
Outstanding recruiting class.
3 top 50 players have signed to come play for Mike White here in Gainesville. And Bryce Drew's in the same boat. He's got to get guys in that can continue to try to build this roster.
This game not over just yet, though.
And there's a turnover by Kayvon Allen. Good pressure by Vanderbilt.
You got to go to the basket here if you're the Commodore. Put the onus on the officials to blow the whistle. You know Florida doesn't want to foul you.
Neesmith, inside a minute to play, drives in, gets the roll. And it is a 5-point game.
Such a lesson to be learned. When you're down, the easy way out, right? You don't want to take the easy way out. The easy way out is to throw up a three-point shot. The hard way, and most things that lead to success in life, they're difficult, they're challenging, is to go to the basket, work through that contact, realizing that the Gators don't want to foul.
New career high for Aaron Neesmith, 25 points tonight for the freshman from Charleston, South Carolina, who won 3 straight state championships in high school en route to becoming the player of the year as a senior. He had 24 in the overtime loss to #1 Tennessee. 25 points tonight. 10th game this season for Aaron Neesmith, in which he scored 10 or more.
The more you go through the fire, the more refined you become. And for Aaron Neesmith, winning those 3 state championships, he's not accustomed to losing. But these challenges that he's going through right now will make him a better player and will make the Commodores a better team on the other side.
Hayes has come back into the game, and he is immediately fouled. Kivarius Hayes, a 65% free throw shooter. So if Vanderbilt could pick a guy on the floor to send to the free throw line, this would probably be it.
Sure. Well, when you think about the fact that he has struggled from the free throw line, and he's got a little additional pressure on him right now, right? You talked about the 3-game losing streak.
And has played very little tonight. It goes dead silent inside the O'Connell Center. Hayes misses the first. So it's going to be a 2-possession game regardless with 51 seconds to play.
Well, you want to get one here. If you can get one, then you take the lead to 6, so you protect yourself with a 2-possession game, even if the Commodores would have hit a couple of threes.
Hayes makes the second. 6-point lead for Florida. Not a lot of time to waste, and Saban Lee's going to have to pick it up and dribble it. Neesmith out front. Now driving in, he draws the foul.
Beautiful. The fans don't like it. It may not be as exciting to watch as a three-pointer or a dunk on television, but the fact of the matter is, it is the best way for the Commodores to get back in this basketball game. They get a chance to score while the clock is stopped, and they continue to put pressure on the Florida Gators to make free throws.
Neesmith at the free throw line. When we finish here in Gainesville, we'll send you to the Pac-12, USC and Stanford. That game starting on ESPN News. Over to ESPNU. As soon as we finish. 5-point lead. Neesmith makes one of 2. Hayes and Allen nearly tied each other up.
Hayes got rid of that basketball like a hot potato. Smart, though. Get it into the hands of Kayvon Allen.
4th foul on Neesmith. It's going to be Keontae Johnson at the free throw line for Florida. Johnson, like Hayes, shoots 65%. The guy that Florida wants at the line is Kayvon Allen, the all-time leading free throw shooter in school history.
Yep, nearly 88%. And Johnson looks much more comfortable at the free throw line. And this is a huge free throw here that can take it from a 2-possession to a 3-possession basketball game.
This may sound like a strange question, so forgive me, but how hard is it to win? Especially when you've been losing games and you're trying to get over the hump. You're trying to snap a losing streak. Isn't it just hard to win?
Well, I'm glad you continue to edify your question. It's certainly hard to win, Richard, and you're seeing this from the Commodores, particularly in a league like the SEC this year. A lot of deep leagues, the Big 12, ACC. Obviously, the Big 10 may be the deepest league this year. We'll see come postseason play. That'll tell us a lot about which is the deepest league. But for the Commodores right now, it's the mindset. It's the mindset of a player saying, here we go again, being close, but not able to get over that hump. That's what Coach Bryce Drew, and that's what the Commodores are going to be dealing with for the duration of the season.
Career 87.6% free throw shooter. Kayvon Allen, the best from the charity stripe in Florida history. Vanderbilt will take its final timeout, down 8. As it looks like Florida is going to snap the 3-game losing skid and get back within 1 game of 500 in SEC play, with a road trip to Alabama coming up this weekend. Southern Cal Stanford coming up immediately after us. That game has begun on ESPN News. It will be here on ESPNU as soon as we finish.
Well, and so right now, Coach Bryce Drew is calling this timeout because he's wanting this to still be a teaching moment for his team right now. And I think he's done a very good job from, you know, you go into the locker room at Vanderbilt, he's got all type of positive signs to keep this team motivated, keep them upbeat. You look at his career at Valpo and his career as a player and a coach, he's not accustomed to these losses whatsoever, but I think the staff has stayed intact. And I want to give credit to Coach Bryce Drew because he has not lost this locker room, which could have happened easily when you have struggles like they've had in league play.
This one of 3 games tonight in the SEC. You had Tennessee winning 85-73 over South Carolina to get to 11-0 in league play. South Carolina now 7-4. Ole Miss goes to Auburn and wins against the Tigers for the 2nd time this year. Ole Miss now 7-4. Auburn falls to 5-6 in the league. Florida trying to pick up its 5th league win. Up 9 with 25.1 seconds to play. Toy short with the 3, tipped around, Nembhard rebound, and Florida is going to be able to dribble it out, and they will put to bed a 3-game losing streak en route to their 13th win of the season.
Bottom line, it was a must-win for Coach Mike White and the Florida Gators, and it was a win that they got. Hard fought by both teams, but impressive by Florida to get back on the winning track.
For our entire crew here in Gainesville, Florida wins 66-57. My partner Damian Fishback, I'm Richard Cross. Let's now send you to Roxy Bernstein and Corey Williams, USC and Stanford.